Day 7, Uruguay against Saudi Arabia. Uruguay, appearing at their 12th World Cup tournament, were a victory from confirming their third consecutive appearance, progression into the later stages of the tournament. For Saudi Arabia, defeat would spell doom, and they were very much looking to restore pride following the capitulation at the hands of the host nation for the opening game. They were heavily criticised all over the world in a game in which they failed to register a single shot. They were very much, it was a case of restoring pride. It was a very hot day with the weather conditions up to 36 degrees. For Saudi Arabia, 4 changes were made, including the keeper replaced. For Uruguay, they went with the tried and tested. They themselves will be looking for a vast improvement to their very much improving on their below par performance against the Egyptians in the opening game. To the game, bottom of their group at the last 3 tournaments, Saudi Arabia started brightly, and there was a sense that they would defend much better than they had in the opening game, surviving the opening 15 minutes. And yeah, definitely signs they were composed, and there was greater defensive discipline and solidity throughout the whole team. Uruguay kind of continued from where they left off against Egypt, lacking any kind of intensity. They were slow, pedestrian. There was not much seen of Suarez, and Cavani was wayward in an attempt on goal. But then it actually took 20 minutes for Uruguay to get their first corner. But then Uruguay, in his 100th cap, scored his 52nd goal, and he didn't have much to do, very much like to find the net. Alawi making a complete misjudgment of the ball that came in, and Saudi Arabia, all the reasonably fine work undone. It was an open goal for the Uruguayan striker. But it was going to be a very long day for the Saudi Arabians, and the stunning drive from Hatan looked to get his nation back on level terms. But then Hatan failed miserably to keep the ball down when he had the opportunity for a strike on goal. It was a fine reaction to fall in behind, but they didn't. They retained possession well, but the poor end product was pretty poor, and that was their downfall. Uruguay weren't showing much in attack themselves, and were very content to stay deep and let Saudi Arabia dictate proceedings. And Saudi Arabia, Tassir found himself taken out of the game after he stretched in order to get hold of the ball, but in doing so, he found that he injured himself, so he was replaced. So Arabia, without their goalkeeper, without a single save to make, were behind, as Uruguay, with producing not much, were ahead and on their way to the second round. For the start, Suarez, at the start of the second half, was very much in the action. Alawi doing well to keep the ball out for a second goal for Uruguay. It was very doing very well. Both teams were certainly going through the motions at the start of the second half. There was no goal-mouth actions or any. The only thing of note was the flurry of substitutions. Saudi still lacking the important bite in defence. Uruguay very content at the current state of affairs. Sanchez was onto a superb whipped-in cross from Cavani, but was unable to keep his header from beating the crossbar. As the game progressed, it looked less likely neither were capable of scoring, and Saudi's elimination drew forever nearer. Cavani was close to steering in Carreras' drive on goal. Back to goal, the header was diverted and it narrowly missed the post. And then it was Cavani again breaking through and almost forcing his way, but the outstretched leg of Alawi denying the effort. It seemed kind of like damage limitation for Saudi Arabia. They seemed that they didn't mind losing 1-0, and Uruguay certainly didn't mind winning 1-0. And so as time went into stoppage time, there was no way that Saudi were going to get back on level terms, and very soon they joined Morocco, who a few hours earlier were knocked out of the final. So Saudi Arabia became the second team knocked out, and Uruguay once again had ground out a result, not pretty but effective, and they would be going to face the hosts for the all-important game to see who would finish as the group winners.